Hiya! Welcome to GGKCS, the multi-generational podcast / FlossTube for fans of all things knitting, cross-stitch, and geeky. I'm Cece, and I'm glad to have you today. Today is Sunday, the 27th of September, 2020, and this is Stitch With Me, episode 24. I'd like to say a big welcome back. Love y'all to all returning viewers, and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. Hope you enjoy the show. What I'm working on today is, as always, I only work on this during Stitch With Me's. Baba Black Sheep by the Prairie Schooler, which was a gift from Michelle Bindi Stitchy. The sun is doing weird things, and there's a window right next to this bookcase. So, hopefully it calms down and works. And I'm stitching this on 18 count Ada that was dyed pink by Erin, the 2 Martini Stitcher. And of course I've changed the floss colors because I'm trying to make them work on this fabric. So if you are new here, let's see, I'm trying to decide where I'm going to start. I'm going to fill in these letters, hopefully get the rest of the letters filled in today. Because I want to end there so that I can jump, or I can end there and jump over. Maybe I will start right here and go around. Make sure that works. Sometimes my loop starts are weird. If I'm doing it from the back, they're fine, but then I saw some people, there we go, now it's better, doing it from the front like that I just did, but when I do that, it doesn't always pull through completely like I would like it to. So, anyway. Yes. Okay. So if you are new here, sorry, I got distracted by focusing on my cross stitch. If you are new here, I co-host this channel with my almost 21-year-old kid, Dammy. They will be 21 in 16 days. How do I know that? Because they were born 9 days after my 22nd birthday, and my birthday is 7 days from today. So 9 plus 7 is 16. So crazy kids, they grow up too fast. So anyway, I do these Stitch With Me's by myself, and then Dammy is a junior at Seattle Pacific University studying theater. So we've just started doing this because their schedule is jam-packed with school stuff and work. So, excuse me, Dammy is only on the regular podcast FlossTube episodes every other week, and then I record by myself on the off weeks. So, and then when they're home, we'll look at their schedule, if they're back at work or not, their job that they do when they're at home, which is at a restaurant. So, you know, pandemic craziness. Okay. So, if you're new, welcome. That just tells you a little bit. So, Dammy is actually home this weekend. It's only an hour ferry ride. Well, I mean, the time that it takes to get from the school to the ferry, which is maybe 10-15 minutes, and then an hour ferry ride. And so they are in a on-campus apartment this year with 3 other theater students, and all 3 of their roommates were going to be going home for the weekend. And so they were like, I don't want to be here by myself. Can you think I should come home? And I said, whatever you want to do. So they came home Friday night, and they'll be going to catch a ferry back to school here in a couple hours or so. So it's been nice to have them home for the weekend. We didn't do anything special, just our normal, just hanging out and such. So, but it was nice to have them back. It's only been 2 weeks that they've been gone, but still. It's been nice to have them back, for even though it was just for the weekend. So, yeah, we're keeping an eye on what happens with the virus at school. They have had 3 confirmed cases in the last week, all students. So, yeah, we're just kind of watching things and seeing what happens. So, but Dammy is vigilant about wearing a mask and social distancing and all of that. So hopefully that will protect them from the virus. So, so I can't remember if I talked about it back when pre-pandemic, but Dammy was cast as the lead in a play at Seattle Pacific University, SPU, that was canceled because of the pandemic. And then it had gotten scheduled they were going to perform it this autumn. And then pandemic. So they've made the announcement just in this last week that they are going to do a 1-week workshop with the director of the play and the playwright, the person who wrote the play. And it'll be social distance and or on Zoom, technology. And then they are going to do a 1-night only Zoom stage reading of the play. So that'll be coming up in November. So even though it's not what any of them expected it to be, I'm glad that that Dammy will still get to, play the role. Yeah. So adjustments that are having to be made. Broadway is completely closed right now. All the theaters in Seattle are closed. I mean, everywhere. I mean, just, we're all having to make adjustments because of what's going on. So, but I think this is a really cool way that they've decided to make things work, even though it's not what any of them expected it to be. So, yeah, so that's exciting. So that's upcoming in November. And I'm looking forward to being able to see Dammy play the role that they were cast in. So, yeah. What else has happened this week? I started back to school, y'all. After 11 years of not being in school, I am going back to school to become an ASL, which is an American Sign Language interpreter. So, but it has not been without its stresses this week. There's been a lot of technological crazy, like you can't make this up, problems that have happened, and they're working very, very hard to get it all fixed and everything. It's just all a learning experience, and yeah, it has not been easy, but I'm very excited about the class. My professor is actually deaf, and so that is really exciting to me that I'm learning from someone who is deaf and who is part of the deaf community. The stuff that I had been doing over the summer, trying to prepare for the class, was also done by a deaf person. If you're interested in what I was doing online, the professor's name is Dr. Bill Vickers, and he is a professor at a university in California. I want to say in Sacramento, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But he records his classes and puts them up on YouTube for free. And then he also has a fingerspelling website where, like, you choose, like, how many letters are going to be in a word and how fast or slow you want the fingerspelling to be done. And then you type in the answer as the word is fingerspelled. So those two things are what I was using as resources over the summer, which I feel like, you know, just kind of got me into state of mind and practicing, bringing back what little, I mean, really, it's very little that I actually knew, but I did know some things. So, yeah. So that has been my week, trying to get used to being back in school and trying to deal with all the technological issues. Our professor extended the deadline on all the assignments, so that we, because all the problems were, you know, obviously outside our control. So, but hopefully they're getting the last little bit figured out, and we can be good to go and get on track and enjoy learning. So, yeah. I'm hoping as I learn more to be able to, obviously I won't be able to incorporate it here in the Stitch With Me's because my hands are busy stitching, but I'm hoping to be able to incorporate it into the full-length episodes, just as a way to practice, as well as, you know, I know there are some members of the crafting community who are deaf, and so I would love to be able to, you know, offer that as a way for them to be able to watch our episodes. So that has been the majority of my week. It has rained cats and dogs here this week, which has been wonderful, clearing out the last bit of the smoke and yuckiness from the wildfires. So yeah, that has been pretty much my week. I think so. Okay, well, last week I did the hashtag CC's Autumn this or that tag that I created, and I told y'all that I was going to have another remainder of autumn prompts that I wanted to that I've pulled together that I wanted to do for this week, since, you know, we're into our first week of autumn. So these are not this or that questions, though. So I think I'm just going to call this hashtag CCsAutumnPrompts. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 questions. And feel free, if you would like to answer the questions yourself, whether you do it in a podcast or FlossTube episode, or if you want to just answer them in the YouTube comments or in our Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/GGKCS. And there are 3 questions you have to answer. First question is, what is our cat's name? Her name is Pink, the color, P-I-N-K. Second question is, who's the mama, Cece or Dammy? Cece, that's me. And third question is that you need to read the rules and mark that you agree with them and that you'll follow them, and then we will approve your membership. So, yeah. All right, so here we go with hashtag CCsAutumnPrompts. First question is, favorite autumn drink? Well, y'all should know this one if you know of me at all. Pumpkin spice latte, all the way. Although I am, as I talked about last week, a fan of the pumpkin cream cold brew from Starbucks. I do that one when it's still a little bit warmer outside, and then pumpkin spice latte when things start to cool off. Actually, I'd had the pumpkin cream cold brew already this season, but I had not had a actual pumpkin spice latte until yesterday. So, yeah. Love pumpkin spice lattes. But I also do enjoy hot apple cider, wassail that I talked about last week, and I actually put the recipe in the show notes at GGKCS if you would like to try your hand at making wassail. I give you my mom's recipe, my mama's recipe. Yeah. Okay, favorite autumn food. I don't know that I have one specific one. I do enjoy a good soup. Like I've been getting from Trader Joe's. They have a ready-to-serve pumpkin butternut squash soup that I've had the last couple weeks because there's enough in it for 2 servings. So I've had it for dinner a couple nights each the last 2 weeks. But yeah, I do like a good soup, a good chili sometimes. Just depends. I don't want it super spicy. I'm not a super spicy person. Okay, what is going on here? It looks like one of the strands got uneven, and so it didn't pull it through correctly. There we go. Okay, that fixed it. Yeah. So a nice. I'm not really a stew person though. I like a soup. A soup. Yeah. Yeah. With some nice bread or crackers with it or something. Yeah. That's good. I think I'm gonna have to go get another thing of the pumpkin butternut squash because I've really enjoyed that from Trader Joe's. Okay, your favorite Halloween candy. Mellow cream pumpkins. If you have never had them, you do not know what you're missing. Oh, they're so amazing. With a touch of honey in them. You find them where you find like the candy corn and the autumn mix. Brock's is the brand that I usually get. They're so good. I have some in my desk drawer. They're so good. Mellow cream pumpkins all the way. Okay, what is your favorite autumn scent? Okay, so I have to be careful with scents because if they are too strong or overpowering, it really bothers me and makes me nauseous, and that's not good. So, but a nice, subtle, like spice, like a pumpkin spice kind of scent, as long as it's not too strong. If it's too strong, I cannot handle it. But yeah, that's probably what I would pick. But I tend to like, you know, the stuff with the cinnamon and cloves and, you know, just that nice pumpkin spice type scent. Yeah. We will go with that. Oh my goodness. My needle minder just kind of went nuts. Oops. Let's see. The magnet must be backwards. There we go. That was weird. Okay. Your favorite month, September, October, or November? October, 100%. Why? Let me tell you. Because Dammy and my birthdays are both in October. And you know, you're in that good, nice prime part of autumn. You know, leaves are changing. Halloween's in October. The pumpkins. Yeah, October is a great month. There's a quote, gosh, I can never remember it off the top of my head, but from Lucy Maud Montgomery, who wrote Anne of Green Gables, as well as many other books. But it goes something about, like, I'm glad that I live in a world where there's Octobers, and that is the truth. I love October. It is a great month. And it will be October here in 3 days, not counting today. I saw this question on social media this week. When you are counting down to something, do you count the actual day it is? So like October 1st is on Thursday. So do you do you count, yeah, so do you count the day that it currently is? So would I count Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then do I count Thursday, even though that's October 1st? Or do you not count today and it's, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then do you add Thursday? So is it 3 or 4? How do you do it? How do you count down? I guess if you're doing like a countdown clock, where it can do it from like, right now it's 2:11 p.m. and counting it to 12 a.m. on Thursday. So that would be 3 days and just under 10 hours. I guess that's how you do it. I guess that's how you have to think about it, is like where you'd have to count like hours. Why is it so weird? So, anyway, how did I get on that? October. October is the best month of the year. Love October. Okay, your favorite autumn color. Orange, 100%. Orange is actually my second favorite color after pink. I have a wall hanging over on the, by the couch. I didn't create it. I purchased it from, I think, Joann's. But it's an embroidery piece in a embroidery hoop that says autumn is my favorite color, and it's got leaves around it, and it's beautiful. Orange, not like bright orange, like a nice pumpkin orange, like this color of my tablecloth right here of pumpkins. I like a nice orange. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Your favorite autumn article of clothing. Something hand knit. Whether it would be socks, which I have a drawer full of hand knit wool socks that I have knit for myself. Or a nice hand knit sweater, a cardigan. I love cardigans. Love cardigans. I'm going to knit a new cardigan for myself in November when I do my National Knit a Sweater in a Month. Did I talk about that last week? I feel like I did. Oh yeah, because we were talking about big and cozy sweaters or big and cozy blankets. But if you didn't watch last week's, Nanny Swimmo, National Knit a Sweater in a Month, is a spin-off of NaNoWriMo, which is National Write a Novel in a Month, and you're supposed to write a novel of 50,000 words or more. So the knitting spin is to knit a sweater of 50,000 stitches or more. And I have done it for the last, I don't know how many years, 7, maybe, around there. And I've made it every year. I've made it. I've knit the whole sweater and finished it by the deadline. So this year's sweater is going to be out of fingering weight yarn that I'm actually getting from the fiber mill that I work for. It's called the Sinister Cardigan, and it is knit in the round, and then steeped, which means you use a sewing machine to sew 2 parallel lines down the front, and then you cut it, and then you pick up the stitches and make the button bands. But it is mainly a solid color, which I'm going to do gray, and then up here in the yoke, there is a section of a brighter color, which is going to be pink. And then there's a section that uses, that I'll use either a white or a cream to make the cats. And I think I'm going to put pockets in it too. I have a tutorial. The pattern didn't come with pockets, but I found a tutorial for adding pockets to a sweater. So that's been a while back that I found that. I actually need to go find it again and read it and make sure it will work with the pattern. But that is what I'm hoping to do. So really anything hand knit, shawls, ponchos. I have a beautiful hand knit poncho that took like 800 grams of yarn to knit. Socks, sweaters, hand knits all the way. I love hand knits. Okay, do you remember about the time change? Yes, I have not ever forgotten about the time change. In fact, I'm usually the one that's reminding people. I think because we are in a place where most of, I'm saying we is like the world, like the technologically advanced world, members of the world, where our clocks typically change for us. So whether it's on your computer or your phone or your tablet, your television, whatever, most of the time it changes automatically. I think that's why people forget about it, are forgetting about it more and more. But I remember even growing up, it was this thing, you know, the Saturday night, we would go around the house and change all the clocks. And so that's what we do. That Saturday night, before bed, we changed all the clocks that are not going to change themselves. And we don't miss the time change because of that. Okay, horror movies, yes or no? No, I'm not a horror movie fan. The closest I get to horror would be, there are some sci-fi shows that I watch or have watched that have a horror aspect, like Supernatural. But a lot of times you will find me turned away from the TV and not watching and being like, okay, tell me when this part's over. But I scare myself really easily, and so horror movies are not my cup of tea at all. And here we go with the final question as we're coming in on the 30-minute mark. This worked perfectly. What signifies the start of autumn? Obviously, it has not always been this way, but now, for me, when Starbucks gets the pumpkin spice latte, that is the start of autumn for me. And that's usually before the actual start of autumn, seasonally. And it seems like every year they release it a little bit sooner. Pretty soon we're going to be in June and they're going to be releasing pumpkin spice lattes. I doubt it, but it could happen. I would be thrilled to have pumpkin spice latte and pumpkin cream cold brew year round. But yeah, that's typically for me like, okay, here we go. We're coming into the autumn season. And I know, like, I mean, we lived a lot of years. I was born in Texas, and right now in Texas in September, it is hot still. And as well as in other parts of the country and world. It's nice that up here in Washington, we get the season change sooner. But yeah, pumpkin spice latte release, that's the start of autumn for me. So, well, those are my hashtag CC's Autumn Prompts. I will include the list of them in the show notes at GGKCS.com in case you would like to participate and do the tag yourself. And don't forget to also get last week's tags, CC's Autumn This or That, and answer them. And yeah, I love hearing about it. So I was just telling Dammy before I started recording, next Sunday when I'll be recording Stitch With Me episode 25 is actually my 43rd birthday. So I think what I am going to do for that episode is I'm going to tell you 43 things you might or might not know about me, since I'll be 43. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I actually started an email to myself. Does anybody else do that? Email yourself stuff? I email my stuff I email myself stuff constantly. If I'm needing to remember something, yeah, I email it to myself. So I started an email that I am going to write down, type up 43 things you may or may not know about me, and share those with you next week. And there we go. I finished the letter, so now the bags of wool are complete, other than the tie strands around them, which I will wait and do when I do the words, since those are done single-stranded backstitch. So next week when I work on this, I will be starting on the sheep. What I probably will do is start here and work my way up, and then work across here, and then do this leg, come back up, come across here, do that part of the leg, across there and back, and then work back and forth up to there. When I'm working on a pattern, I have to strategically think about how I'm going to do things before I start stitching on it. I know, weird. Okay, well, you can find us online at GGKCS.com. There are links to everywhere else we are online. Our Facebook group, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, etc. And with that, I hope you have a great, great, great week ahead. Stay safe, wear your masks, stay hydrated. That's always important. Hydration. Be kind to each other, and happy crafting. And we will, this week it'll be just me. So I will see you again on Friday with this week's new episode. And I have, I got an order from Top Knot Stitcher in after we recorded last week's episode. So I have the Just Cross Stitch Halloween issue, which I know lots of other people have shown, but I thought I'd show you some of my favorites out of it. Dammy and I, before I knew Dammy was coming home for the weekend, we FaceTimed, and I showed them all the patterns in the magazine. So there's lots of cat favorites in there, which we really love. And yeah, so until Friday, happy crafting, and I'll see you again soon.